You've seen the highlight reels, the devastating low kicks, the relentless pressure, the knockout power that seems to come from nowhere. But what if I told you that the Dutch style isn't about just throwing hard punches and kicks?
It's a thinking man's game.
It's a meticulously engineered system of violence. This isn't just fighting, this is a scientific art of domination.
All those guys in Holland were a bunch of bad motherfuckers.
For decades, the Dutch have been known for their brutal efficiency in the ring. Their style is a dangerous hybrid, born from the ring craft of Western boxing, the bone-shattering kicks of Kyokushin karate, and the devastating elbows and knees of Muay Thai. They took the best from each, stripped away the rest, and created something uniquely aggressive and relentless. It's a system built on constant pressure, high-volume punching, and debilitating low kicks. In this video, we'll dive into the brutal strategies that make this style so deadly. This style wasn't born from a long-standing tradition. It was born from a humbling reality check. In the 1970s, two martial artists, John Plas and Tom Honrich, felt like the fighting styles of the West were incomplete.
I was so disappointed, I started to make my own style.
And their ambition led them to the very heart of combat sports.
Plas traveled to Japan, immersing himself in Kyokushin karate and early Japanese kickboxing. He studied low kicks, powerful combinations, and full contact sparring methods that worked in real fights. And Honrich went to Thailand, confronting the brutal realities of Muay Thai.
I go there with my 5 best fighters, and there we can beat the hell out of us. Everybody was knocked out.
They were outclassed in the clinch and unprepared for the brutality of a sport where every part of the body is a weapon. But that loss was a spark. It was a clear sign of what was missing.
Back in Amsterdam, their experiences converged, not under one roof, but through a network of small gyms where fighters shared techniques and sparred freely.
They took the best of every art they had seen. The relentless hands of Western style boxing, the devastating kicks they learned in Japan and Thailand, and the newfound understanding of the clinch. But they stripped away the tradition, the rituals, and everything they thought was unnecessary. Now this is the most underrated thing about Dutch kickboxing. They didn't care about the culture of a move. The only thing that mattered was if it worked or not. They experimented with every technique that they saw actually cause damage. And then they used this knowledge to engineer a new breed of fighter. Their ruthless philosophy of what works wasn't just a mindset, it was a blueprint. This blueprint gave birth to 3 core strategies that define the Dutch style to this day. First, there's the high volume punching combinations. Now they don't throw 1 or 2 strike combos, they throw 4, 5, even 6 punch flurries. And it's not about landing the knockout punch, it's about forcing your opponent to constantly cover up, leaving them no time to breathe, let alone counter. Next, the low kick. Now the Dutch low kick is a high volume continuous weapon. Its primary purpose is not just to do maximum damage like the traditional Thai style, but it's used to create openings and disrupt an opponent's balance and mobility. It's often used at the end of a punching combination, making it harder to see and check. And then there's the relentless pressure. Now this is a mindset. Dutch fighters are constantly moving forward, forcing their opponents onto their heels. They own the center of the ring, controlling the fight's tempo and never giving their opponent a chance to reset. Now if you master just one of these principles, you'll see a massive improvement in your own striking. But when they're all combined, you become an unstoppable force.
Now if you guys are interested in learning these strategies so you can apply them to your own game, we have a full course in our Bang and Pivot community going over all this stuff, so if you guys want, feel free to join. Anyway, back to the vid.
Now, the strategies are the what, but the training is the how. What truly separates the Dutch style isn't just their philosophy, but the brutal non-stop training they use to create endless offensive cardio. They emphasize high volume pad work. Unlike traditional martial arts that might focus on single powerful strikes, Dutch fighters are drilled to throw 4, 5, or even 6 punch combinations in a single breath. The goal isn't just to practice punches, but to build the muscle memory and cardiovascular endurance required to throw them in a relentless barrage. Next, there's the flow drilling. This is where they put all the pieces together. Fighters go back and forth with their partners, practicing combinations and counters with little to no rest. This training is a simulation of the fight itself, fast-paced, aggressive, and continuous. Now finally, and probably the most known, they spar hard. The Dutch don't believe in light contact.
You're always surprised how hard we spar, you know?
They believe in pressure testing. Sparring sessions are often as intense as a real fight, forcing fighters to learn how to apply pressure while under fire. This is where they learn to push forward, absorb punishment, and break their opponent's will, just as they're taught to do in the ring. This is how they build the mental and physical toughness required to execute their strategies. But training is only half the story. The true mastery of the Dutch style lies in its execution. The legends who pioneered this system didn't just understand the strategies, they perfected a handful of techniques to carry them out.
Now first there's the high guard. This isn't just about defense, it can also be used offensively. Dutch fighters use this guard to absorb incoming fire, allowing them to walk down opponents, cut off the ring, and never give up ground. It's used to turn defense into relentless forward momentum. Next, the lead hook. While many styles rely on straight punches, the Dutch developed a devastating lead hook that could turn an opponent's lights out in an instant. Not only is it dangerous to the head, but it can also shut you down when it's delivered to the body. It's a key part of the volume-based assault, often setting up the kick that follows. And yes, the low kick. While it's a part of the strategy, it's also a perfected technique. These fighters didn't just throw them, they never stopped throwing them. They saw the legs as a target just as important as the head. And there's one more technique I can't leave out, and it's the knee to the head. Scissor knee, flying knee, or jumping knee, whatever you want to call it. But these fighters land this all the time. The volume punches make most defenders shell up, and then they use this knee to split the guard right down the middle.
While other legends perfected individual techniques, no one combined them all with such ferocity as Ramon the Diamond Dekkers. He was the perfect example of what it meant to have that Dutch style. He had the punching speed of a boxer, the low kicks of a Kyokushin karate master, and the unbreakable will of a champion forged in the fire of Bangkok stadiums. And he didn't just apply these strategies and techniques, he perfected them. You can see it in every fight, the way he would throw 5 punches just to get his opponent to shell up, then deliver a devastating low kick. He moved at angles, cutting off the ring, and never allowed his opponents a moment of peace. His iconic fights in Thailand cemented his legend, showing the world that even the toughest Thai fighters could be broken by this relentless style. But the Dutch style looks unstoppable until it gets stopped. Because when you keep moving forward with long, heavy combinations, you leave openings, and that means sharp counter fighters could punish them right in the middle of their attacks. And once the fight moved into the clinch, the Dutch were at a clear disadvantage. Unlike the Thais, they didn't have the same close range control, so knees, sweeps, and tie-ups could completely shut down their game. And on top of that, the very rhythm that made them so aggressive could also make them predictable. Smart opponents learned to time that rhythm with teeps and elbows. But the influence of Dutch kickboxing is global now. It's a foundation for modern striking. The principles of relentless pressure, high volume combinations, and punishing low kicks are now staples of the sport. Every time you see a fighter throw a combination that ends with a low kick, you're seeing the legacy of Ramon Dekkers and the ruthless Dutch style. So Dutch kickboxing isn't just about throwing harder, it's a strategic masterpiece of pressure, volume combinations, and the relentless low kicks. It's a style built not just to win, but to dominate. If you guys are interested in learning the Dutch style, we do have a full course inside the Bang and Pivot community. The link to join is in the description.